Welcome to my world. It is Saturdays. We are getting ready for the Opera House tours. So come on in. We have lots to celebrate today. I have been busy, and I am excited to share with you on Saturdays. It's our getting ready day. And I'm sorry it's late, but that's how we roll here in the caregiving house that I live with my dad. And we've been busy all day. And it is still 85 degrees in the house because we are now running the fireplace most of the day. And he loves it, so I hate to complain. Oh boy. Anyway, we are getting ready to present the tours this summer at Railroad Days. They are coming in August in Staples, Minnesota at the historic Bachelor Block Opera House. I'm still the owner with my twin brother, and I'll be hosting these tours and celebrating our history there and creating more as our city and the new board are getting ready to launch a project that I cannot wait to share more about with you. It'll be exciting because all these things that we canceled last year, it'll be exciting for us to be open. And I have booked the very first tour with about 26 people, so I'm excited about that. 1907, this opera house was built in Staples, and it was built with you in mind, and I can't wait. Welcome to my world. Come on in. Saturdays is for getting ready. I am Coach Colleen, and I was raised on the 7 days of balance and living life on purpose. If you are traveling on the internet, I hope you rest here a while. Make these 7 days become your traveler's rest. Today, I'm your coach, your head coach, and I'm on a mission while I am in remission, celebrating history and creating more. This is going to be something good, I promise. You know, if you only had 1 year, this is the title that was given to me by my twin brother when I wrote my book. And he told me that first year, almost 19 years ago, when we bought our opera house, when everyone thought we had lost our minds, taking on a 30,000 square foot, 3-story building. But he and I both knew that first few months that if it wasn't then, when I was so sick, if we didn't do something this extreme, I would never have lived. And he knew I needed a purpose so grand, it could only be something impossible, to do the impossible. And that was what beat all odds. And I believe that is why I lived. I was in the middle of radiation, and I thought radiation was just a breeze compared to chemo. And boy, was I wrong. But my chemo was tweaked to get me through it, as everything I was doing was experimental. And I really had a rare cell, and then it was a cell that was graded higher than the scales would go. And that's why the doctor said I had a 10% chance of making it a year if they had not done this tweaking. They said there was just no way. So it was just a very difficult thing to go through, and everybody has these kinds of stories. So I don't mean to make mine feel so special, but it was in my life. It was my springboard to really anchor down and find a purpose. had just recently been divorced. I had quit my job, my career, to be a full-time mom. So I had just a couple of things going on. And then 9/11 hit. Oh dear. Anyway, the most shocking thing that happened that first month of chemo for me, though, was when 2 young mothers who were in chemo, they did not make it. And so I guess those Godchesters from Rochester were correct that the chemo was very difficult back then. And when him and I bought it that first few months, and then I got even sicker, the doctors told my family that they would give me a week of lightening my load. Did not look good, that they should take me someplace and do it soon. So within 2 days, I was on a plane to New York. when we had first bought the Opera House. And when I came back, my twin brother and my sister, my family, but my twin brother, when I got back, had the carpenters ready, and he said, Colleen, do whatever you want. And of course, I put a New York room in. And we did. We spent so much money so fast. Oh boy. And then finally it was ready and well enough for us to, the building was prepared enough for us to open for our first few shows that first summer. And Chris and I were dusting off the granite late that night and getting ready for grand opening. Went into the basement, and we were sitting by Brutus, and I had a really bad radiation damage. And I was bandaging myself up to get ready to go up the steps. And he says, you know, Colleen, you should write a book. And you should call it If You Only Had 1 Year. And I never forgot that. And that's what I did call my book, If You Only Had 1 Year. So I don't know. I think everyone should live as if they only had 1 year. And I don't know what you would do if you only had 1 year, but I very quickly failed at that business. And I killed a rat too. It's in the book. Can't wait to tell you about it. I can't wait for you to read it. But my magical night that I was down to about 115 pounds. And it was a night to remember. My nun, my son, my diamonds, my rocks, these people that have been with me for so long, they all came. And it was my twin brother with my walking stick. He held me up that night. And I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I had, it was just the most special night. We went on to have 60 events and thousands of tours, and the book will tell you all about it. And it will also tell you about the rat that I killed. So I'm getting ready to share all that has happened there and will happen there again. And I'll be posting information about these tours in August. When I failed in business, well, we fought this cancer, and this book that I wrote will tell about the biggest victory and the biggest win that I had those years in Staples. It was when we wrote, we spent a lot of money to hire a writer. His name is Dennis Gardner. And he came down and he wrote the nomination to get the building placed on the National Register of Historic Places. So while I was on a steady drug, I went 52 extra weeks. And then that did some damage to my heart and so forth. And then I was kidnapped to Italy. Oh dear. Anyway, the nomination came back. We were closed and no one knew. And Rose Eden, a famous artist from there, she painted us a keepsake, huge painting. And we were placed silently on the National Register of Historic Places. And we were able to tell no one. So this is my biggest victory, a biggest win, is when we were able to place that building on that National Register. And I'll never forget it, that day that letter came. And we lost our business, but we were able to get that that Washington, D.C. said they've never seen another opera house, all original like that ever. That usually when they find a property like ours, they have to tear through layers and attempt to recreate what they have what we have shown them. You know, we have all the original. It's all original backdrops, all original colors. The acoustical value, they said, is unmatched. So when Charles Batcher and Mrs. Batcher built this place, they built it right. I found my purpose on the way to that National Register of Historic Places, and it is celebrating history and creating more. You know, the National Register of Historic Places has a criteria. It's very, very important. There's 7 aspects of that integrity that goes along with this criteria. It's location, design, setting, materials, workmanship, feeling, and association. Follow me here, and I will show you and introduce you to the rare people, places, and voices who will validate these 7 aspects. And wait till you meet this famous artist that's going to be restoring our opera house. His name is Carter Everbeck, and he's one of my rare people. And Saturdays are for getting ready. And everyone needs one day a week to get ready for something. And if I wouldn't have found this opera house, and if my twin brother and my family would not have stood by me all these years, my mother said, honey girl, just bounce, 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 just keep getting up, just keep going, go, go, go. And that's what I mean by bounce, bounce, bounce. Because no matter how tough our days get, there's always a hot sauna there. Just go in the sauna, find your song, sing it in your head and dance, and find a way to spring out and bounce back and just keep fighting for as long as we can while we're down here and find your purpose. And I'm just so thankful. My son and my mother and I have danced on this opera house floor. The night we had Lamont Cranston, I think I danced and danced and danced. I ended up taking the next 17 years of study drugs, extended drugs, and I'm a miracle, they say. The miracle is finding a purpose. And I found Staples, Minnesota, the Bachelor Block Opera House with my twin brother. Follow me and let me share this heart of the highway with you. I am a coach, a head coach, building a digital home. How to live life on purpose 7 days a week. I teach it, I preach it, and I repeat it. But I know for a fact that all of you have found your purpose. And those of you that haven't found it yet or need to find a new one, I think we will engage here and share our ideas together. There's lots of kids out there that have just survived COVID, and perhaps maybe we can inspire them, and maybe they can inspire us. So find your rocks, grab your ball, and build a team. Look for a feather. Hope is all around. So jump, bounce, and fly with me 7 days on purpose. I teach it, preach it, and repeat it with a balance. Like, share, and remember, Saturdays are for those who dare. Be avant-garde, be rare, and remember me. Sincerely, Coco, Coach Colleen, number 33.